Hello, good evening, and welcome to the forum. This is not the Fatback Four. This is not the post match stuff. It's just me and him on another fucking show. Usually, what happens in the forum is him being Kev, of course. But usually, what happens in the forum is there's four people, there's a debate, and over four topics. But it's a skeleton staff this week because of Christmas. And so, what we're going to do tonight is me and Kev have picked a couple of topics we're going to talk about, and anything else that comes up in the chat. So, look, if you have anything that with regards to football you want to throw in, I did see somebody bought some black pudding and donuts at the weekend, Garmac. So if you want to throw that stuff in as well, you're more than welcome. Because for the week that's in it, we're going to try to do shows like the midweek fix and post match and stuff like that. But anything else that comes to your mind, just throw it in there. Garmac wants loads of food chat. We might get into some pigs and blankets. Disgusting. Oh, you fucking hate them. Just for the record there as well. Does Phil have COVID? No, not that I know of. Just the lads are all very busy. Kev, how are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, bit of an awkward week this one for me. So I'm looking forward to Christmas. Can't wait to get the next couple of days out of the way though.
Are you like a child that can't wait for Christmas?
I will be after tomorrow. After tomorrow, I'm all good to go.
Okay, I won't ask why it's
No,
after tomorrow.
I'll tell you after.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, leave it there. But anyway, there's a good bit to talk about. Just in reaction to last night's show where we were talking about VAR and stuff like that, we've seen the absolute comedy of your man on Sky Sports today. What's his name? Dermot Gallagher.
Dermot Gallagher,
yeah. Absolutely talk himself into a corner about the Harry Kane stuff, which was incredible. The line that seems to be coming out of the Premier League and the PGMOL seems to be that he was in the air, so the tackle's okay. So basically, you'd have to break his leg in order for something to happen. But I have to, without going too deeply into it, Kev, the response and the reasoning behind what went on yesterday is absolutely farcical, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the verbal gymnastics they're prepared to go to exonerate their mate. I mean, at Dale ESPN on Twitter did a great thread tonight of the standards of what VAR is supposed to be and what it is. And the standards for what VAR is in Europe, what UEFA demand off of these officials. Kavanagh, he's Chris Kavanagh. He's one of the best VAR referees in UEFA, according to their rankings.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get much wrong. He doesn't miss much. But the high bar that the Premier League have self-imposed on themselves meant that to describe what happened yesterday, if Paulson described verbally what he saw, that Harry Kane made an attempt for the ball, his studs were down, there wasn't excessive force, the VAR has to find video evidence to overturn that conclusively. And if he can't intervene. Because the referee on the pitch decided it was a yellow card.
So you telling me then that he's watching that and he can't see a guy sliding out of control?
He's not allowed to.
But
there's a difference.
Okay,
he can see it all day long. Because and this is only going off that thread that Dell put up.
Mm-hmm.
He said Kavanagh would have told him to go and look at that if it was a Champions League game. Because of the threshold that UEFA set.
Okay, so the threshold that UEFA set would mean that he would have to go and look at that and a red card would ensue. But the high bar, that bullshit that they talk about, high bar is a weird fucking saying anyway, right?
It's almost as stupid as clear and obvious.
No, it's basically the Premier League saying we're better than everyone else. And we'll make our own bar despite what everything else is going on in Europe, right? And basically the high bar tells me that he has to injure him significantly in order to get a red card.
Or he has to not see what he saw. Like the one with Robbo, he could have turned around and described the Robertson situation by saying, I saw him make the tackle. I think he got the ball. Okay. Then Kavanagh will turn around and say, we've reviewed the video evidence. Robertson got nowhere near the ball. Now you can go and check it. Because he's seen something on the screen that contradicts what the referee on the pitch says.
So if, for argument's sake, Barry Devaney says the PGMOL do what they want, correct, Gav? They don't do what they are told to do. Typical English mentality, think they know best. It's not I don't like that English mentality. That's too much of a wide scope for me. It's a PGMOL mentality, and it's a Premier League referees mentality and officials mentality. But what I'm saying to you, what the whole point about this high bar is bullshit, because somebody, Darren Gallagher said it's the height of the boo. Now that's irrelevant to me. What you have to look at is you have to look at how the distance he travels, where the studs are, where he is in relation to the other player, and is he in control? Is he reckless? Answer to all of them, yes. Paul Tierney in no way can turn around to Chris Kavanagh and say he went for the tackle, his foot was down, he catches him, but he makes an attempt for the ball. If he says that honestly, there is no way Chris Kavanagh can turn around and go, I can't say anything, because what he's actually said there is pretty close
enough,
because it's fucking nowhere near.
I know. I'm just giving you the because this is the
I know what you're giving me. I know what you're giving me. But what you're giving me from them makes no fucking sense whatsoever. None. Because you see, Paul Tierney could turn around and go, fuck, he could have caught him. I'm not too sure on that. Right?
And that's what should have happened.
Right? And Chris Kavanagh goes, no, we did catch him, and here it is. Or simply make him go to the television and look.
But apparently, the way the Premier League have set their instructions to the VARs, they're not allowed to get involved in certain situations. And I sent you a link earlier on Twitter of the whole thread. If you read the whole thread, it explains it clearly.
Yeah.
It's really, really good, and really, I'd encourage anyone who's in the chat, go on.
But answer me, answer me this. It's a really good thread. Most of his are Dale, ESPN. Most of them are, right? The vast majority of what he does are really good. Does it make, when you see it, does it take away any of the fucking mess that they made of this yesterday for you?
No, because it clearly says at the end of it, it was a red card that they messed up. They cocked it up. And the thing is, they cocked it up 3 times. They cocked it up.
And by that reason, then, have they cocked it up because of the high bar they set and the fact that what you're telling me is
combination.
In some things that they're not allowed to say anything. What the fuck are they there for?
It's a combination of everything. And I think that's half the problem. The referees, the PGMOL, don't want VAR. They don't like the idea of their authority in the middle of the pitch being questioned by anyone, let alone being questioned by their own peers.
Yeah. Well, then
because
what to do is,
if the Atkinson story is true, that Atkinson apparently ate one of the VARs who overturned one of his decisions and said, "Don't ever do that to me again," then you know the kind of mentality that you're dealing with these egos, and that's what they are now. They're walking egos who think that their refereeing career is going to finish and they'll be on next year's I'm a Celebrity to get me out of here.
Well, the only other option from the option I will put forward then is to get rid of VAR, tell referees that they can make all the decisions on their own, but they will be interviewed after every game.
I would, there's no reason. There's no difference.
Then they'll be answering to nobody on the pitch, but they're going to explain the situation to everyone that wants to know it. Because at this time now, we're sitting with all this technology, and if what you're telling me is true, that they're told not to interfere in certain situations, that's horrendous. Because they have to review all yellow card incidents. They have to review penalty incidents. That's what I thought. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's like when Zaha goes through against Arsenal, goes down on the deck, gets a yellow, I think, or gets a pen, one or the other, and they reverse it. Right? I'm nearly sure it's Mike Dean. It's at the Emirates. I'm nearly sure Zaha goes past somebody. I don't know whether he gives a penalty or he gives a yellow card for diving. It might have been he gives a penalty, and then he reverses the decision on Zaha.
No, I think he gave a yellow. I think he gave a yellow card for diving.
Yeah,
and they intervened and said no, he was caught. So they gave a pen.
But what I'm saying is, if they're not allowed to interfere, and the referee says, "Oh no, he's jumped there and he's dived," how are they allowed to interfere?
I mean, the fact that he jumped makes no difference to me. It was just, there's no defense. Even Spurs fans are saying that it was a red card. Yeah. Even Conte said it was a red card.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it changed the trajectory of the whole game.
Yeah, and listen, the game's over and done with. It's a 2-2 draw.
It's done.
You move on and you start looking at your next games and you start seeing where you are. And Liverpool are 3 points off the top of the table, and that's not what annoys me. What annoys me is that the bullshit you seen with a lot of people yesterday, and more importantly, the official lines coming out of different things today is just like you'd be better off just staying quiet and going, listen, we fucked that up, just saying nothing and they might go away. That's the best thing to do. Because Dermot Gallagher today, he explains the Newcastle one on Fraser, which is a horrendous decision. And he's saying,
did he actually? Because I was in an interview at the time. I didn't see any of Gallagher what he said. What did he say about that one?
Gallagher says that it's a penalty. He does say it's a penalty, right? And what's his name? Liverpool player Stephen Warnock is in the stadium, or not stadium, the studio with the girl, the blondie girl that does the Sky Sports.
Chelsea.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but basically, the silence, and then the two of them go, "I just can't believe that wasn't given." Like, you know, and then they move on to Dermot Gallagher and they go, right, this one, and he starts going on about how high the foot is, and your man says to him, but he catches him. Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is, Sue Smith is the girl's name, apparently. Yeah. And he starts going on, and the Sky Sports fella nearly exhales while he's halfway through, as if to go, "Are you really saying this to me?" And then he goes, "No, hold on, I didn't say this." He completely blanked what he said and said he didn't say it, and then start going on about the height of the foot. It's madness. At the end of the day,
Michael LeBron there is spot on.
But the height of this foot is height of his foot, right? The height of the boot is irrelevant. All he has to look at is he out of control? Is it excessive force? Is it dangerous play? Is he endangering a player?
Yeah.
Yes is the answer to all them things, regardless of where he gets the ball or not.
Yeah.
I remember years ago, Jay Spearling playing for Liverpool away at Fulham, and he makes a tackle and he follows through and catches a fella and he gets sent off, right? And the reason behind it was, doesn't matter that you won the ball, you followed through, you took a fella's fucking at the shin high and you cleaned them out. The fella got up and played, but it was still in danger, and it was a red card. You've seen it loads of times happen.
You actually see it a lot more in the UEFA Cup or the Champions League, Europa League, where you look at it and you think that was a really good challenge, but then you look at it in the context of the follow through and the trailing leg that caught the player, and then you understand the rules, and it's like, okay, fair enough. Then you see the same challenge on Saturday, Wolves versus Leicester. And nothing. And that's the inconsistency. And it's the same rule book for everybody. It's just different interpretations and different standards.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. And to not even double down on it, I'd have more respect if he doubled down on it today, but he didn't. They just absolutely fudged it all day. And even Sky rolling out ex-referees to talk about this, and they're trying to fucking make out that, you know, there's some way A, Tierney gets out of this, and B, Kavanagh gets out of it on top of it. It's just madness. Like, at the end of the day, between them as a team, one of them, the referee should say, "I'm giving a yellow for that, but I'm not 100% on that yellow."
Yeah, and he says, a red? Is it possibly a red? That's all he's got to ask.
All he has to say is, listen, he's sliding, his studs are up. You can see every single stud in the air when he goes at the true thing, regardless of what Andy Robertson's doing. If Andy Robertson, right, avoids contact there and jumps him, it's a red card.
Yeah, of course it is. He's completely out of control. It's as simple as that.
Intent, all of that. What happens afterwards, all of that is irrelevant until all you have to do is look at the fucking tackle. And for what we've seen today, it was just absolutely madness. But I thought we'd start off with that because let's get that out of our system. The other thing that happened today was a meeting between Premier League managers. I think it was a Zoom call. You know, we heard Klopp yesterday speak about, look, we play the 26, play the 28. We can't do that, to the quality that we want to over the next couple of games. We need help. We've no problem playing football, but we need help with regards to timings. He's understanding, Kev, in the fact that, you know, he knows things are tight. He knows the schedule is tight. He knows that it runs to the middle or end of May. There's very few midweeks or weekends free, bar if you go out of the cup. And he's talked this really, really well yesterday. And it's come out that they're just going to continue.
Yeah.
They're just going to continue and do their best. Kev, this is only going one way. And this is just going to be littered with fucking things being called.
It's almost as if Sky and BT have put the squeeze on and Amazon and said, look, we've given you this money up front. Give me my product. And the TV companies have put the mockers on the Premier League doing what's common sense. You're going to have some clubs with fully fit squads or near fully fit squads because they're on the other side of the COVID issue. You've still got clubs that are going through it, and you've got clubs out there that are about to go through it because the wave that's going on in the UK, we're on the outside looking in, so we're only going on what people are telling us and what we're seeing in UK media. And we know from our own figures when they're released over here, they're only a fraction of the real numbers. The UK is riddled. You know, I mean, I think the Boxing Day fixtures will be the last ones with fans in the ground. I think I think the government are going to take that decision away from the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think that decision will be out of the league's hands. But the idea that you can go with this 13+1 and play 2 games in 48 hours is a nightmare scenario for every club.
The word I heard, or what I read today, was if you have 13 players, including one goalkeeper, fit, you can fulfill the fixture.
Fulfill the fixture, yeah.
Chris Brack says playing into City's hands. They have a soft run of fixtures and next to no COVID issues, but that can change very quickly. You know, you can go from 0 to 10. Like Kev, I don't know what you would have done. For me, I would have called it off now, and I would have said to all clubs, listen, today is the 20th of December. And what we're going to do is we're not going to play a league fixture until you have games that are due the first fixture in the new year, i.e. the 1st or 2nd of January. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all the players in. You're going to go into those bubbles that you've been in before. We're going to heighten the criteria as to what all clubs have to do. Klopp has spoken about it, how extra things have come in and they're going to do their absolute best. And I would have said, look, the games on the 26th, the games on the 28th are out. And what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up in one go. We're just going to clean it up in one go, and everyone goes out on the 1st and 2nd of January with a clean bill of health, and we go again. Because I think you're going to do more damage over these 2 match days. Now, it could be wrong, but I think we're going to do more damage, Kev, over these 2 match days. And it's going to run, instead of just missing 2 and taking stock and going to the 1st of January, I think you could end up affecting 4 or 5 fixtures per team here.
I think the biggest problem, I mean, look, you were right in what you said last night. As soon as the first case hit Spurs, they should have locked everyone down, every club down for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have been right for now. The idea that I think Klopp was talking about was, look, if we've got reduced squad size, then at least give the players a chance to properly, if you can only use 15 players, for argument's sake, on the 26th game, the idea that you're going to be using the same 15
on the 28th
and the 28th,
yeah,
you're increasing
and again 4 days later.
Yeah, you're increasing the risk that these players are going to get injured astronomically. So even if you use your 23s to bolster your subs, most clubs are still going to be using the starting 11, 2 games on the bounce. You can't keep that intensity going. Now, it would have made more sense if you're going to play one, and at least give those players a chance to recover for the New Year's Day fixtures.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it looks like the TV companies have said, look, we want our product on the 28th, and they're the Amazon fixtures from what I can think of. And they're the ones with every game is televised.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been told, if you don't pay us this, there's probably clauses in contracts and legal stuff that the TV companies will hit them with, because the government haven't mandated a lockdown. It's self-imposed. So I think legally they're probably contractually obliged to play these fixtures now.
The only argument against that is that if you end up with 15 fit players, right, and the vast majority of teams end up with 15 fit players, you're not the chances of those 15 being first teamers that you would see on the pitch every week is vastly reduced. And then the product that Amazon or BT or Sky are looking for simply isn't there.
Yeah, I know. It
simply isn't there. And and like you seen it last year with no one in stadiums, and it was like, that's not the product you're looking for. It simply isn't, sort of way. But business is business. Money makes the world go round. We all know this. And at the end of the day, if they're not getting what they want or what they think they should have, regardless of the situation, they will want money back on it. you know, and we're back into another year of Premier League clubs and Liverpool to a big extent saying, look, COVID is COVID, and you know, trying to do things that we wanted to do is getting harder and harder.
I think that every club was going. I mean, if you're, for example, look, I was on a Leeds podcast earlier. If you're in Leeds' situation with their injury worries at the moment, and then you're told, right, you're going away to Anfield, and then 2 days later you're playing at home to whoever with the same squad that you put out against Arsenal because you can't get players back, or if you are getting players back, they're not quite match ready.
Are they looking at the same? Are they looking at the same squad that they had against Arsenal to play
pretty
away
much?
At Liverpool?
I mean, they're on about they might have 2 or 3 back, but they're rushing them back. So, you know, their rest and recovery can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're risking further injury to fulfill these fixtures. You know, and that's just one club. But imagine there's a dozen clubs in this situation trying to rush players back. Even players now, say Van Dijk is out with COVID. Van Dijk, Fabinho, Thiago, and who's the fourth?
Curtis Jones.
Curtis Jones. They can't train either.
No.
You know, so I mean, I know elite athletes have certain dispensation, but there's no way in hell that Klopp will risk them being around the other players. So if they can't train, even in the space of 2 weeks, you're going to lose muscle mass. So are they going to risk Van Dijk maybe re-injuring himself by rushing him back into a game? No.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
It's not just the 10 days. You're talking maybe this could set players back 2-3 weeks.
I think Van Dijk. I think the three, Fabinho, Curtis Jones, Van Dijk, are eligible to play against Leicester away on the 28th. Thiago will be a bit later than that. Obviously, I think he won't be available until Chelsea away, I think. Georgie, the Leicester City fan says, are you resting your whole first team on Wednesday? We have under 6,000 fans travelling. We want that win in the cup. Just under 6,000 fans travelling. Will you get don't you get 7,000 tickets for that? I think you get the whole Anfield Road end. Georgie, we're going to have a big chat about that tomorrow night on the midweek fix, but I'm not going to tell you to piss off. I'm not telling you. But to be honest with you, I would suggest that both sides will go into that. We're in a really, really inexperienced sides, just because of Leicester's issues with COVID at the moment and injuries, and Liverpool with a growing COVID issue. Not injury so much, but a growing COVID issue. I think you will see a vastly changed team. You know, I think the likes of Firmino will play because he only got so many minutes. You might see Kate. It all depends who do you want to risk, you know, and you have to weigh that up against the risk of him playing, and then can he play against Leeds because he might be needed against Leeds because A, B, or C could go down with COVID. It's not just what used to be just a you know, fitness, rest and recovery, you know, how many minutes has he got under his belt sort of conundrum for most games. It's now, do I risk him because I could end up with fucking COVID on top of injuries as well? So it's so hard. It's so hard to plan.
So you know the situation with Robertson at the minute because of the suspension. Does the League Cup count, or is it?
I still don't know. A lot of people I've spoken to reckon that he misses Leicester, Leeds, Leicester. Those three. One in the League Cup.
So if the League Cup counts, then
that's what I've been told by a couple of people. But again, that rule seems to fucking change whenever it feels like it. The reclaimer says yes, the League Cup counts. So is Allison. So there you go. But Georgie, I don't know, mate. I really don't. I think it'd be a cracking game either way because I think both teams will kind of carefree go for that one. And the kind of chat I'm getting off Klopp is I don't think he's bothered over it. Simply, he makes comments after the game.
Two-legged semi-finals.
Two-legged semi-finals, and should it be cut to one in a neutral ground? And you know, he says we're not qualified yet, but we're looking at that going, Jesus, there's another 2 games to throw in. If we have any games call over Christmas, that's another window that's gone. So, it'd be interesting to see what they do, Georgie. I'm being honest with you. Reclaimer says it's an FA game. So it counts. Chris Brack still thinks it doesn't think the League Cup is counted. Loads of people have said it has. So I really don't know. If someone wants to go out and look at the rule book again for me, absolutely go and do it. But Kev, you know, we'll get into the League Cup game tomorrow. We've talked about the mess that is that VAR yesterday. What do Liverpool do over this fixtures now? Because, and I know it's a tough question because we don't know. Is there more positives? Is there, when do players come back? But what do Liverpool do? Do they go soft
No,
on Wednesday? Do they look to just?
You've been off Wednesday. You play the kids. You play the academy players because as far as I know, the under-23s haven't been playing.
Right.
And if it's a case that over the next 3 games we might have to use 1 or 2 of them, let them get their let them get their minutes in this game.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, if we've got to play back to back for 2 days, our main team that is there that played against Spurs have to properly rest and recuperate and go again.
Mm-hmm.
And something has to be sacrificed. If the league aren't going to help us out, something has to be sacrificed. And I'd rather they sacrifice the League Cup rather than gamble with 3 points against Leeds, irrespective of the form that Leeds are in at the minute. You don't need a banana skin at this time of year, and you know very well that banana skins are right around the corner if you go looking for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been off the League Cup and just played the under-23s, let them go for broke, but nah. You got to look at the bigger picture with this one, I'm afraid.
It's impossible to plan for.
Yeah, until the morning of the game, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of the opinion. I'm kind of with you. I think you might drop a couple in there just to give them some minutes. Like we play Wednesday, Sunday, don't we? So it's
a Sunday morning though.
Yeah, but all things being equal, it's a decent gap. If I said to you, listen, we're playing Wednesday, Sunday. I think it's Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, isn't it?
Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday.
So that Sunday, Tuesday is a bit of a nightmare. Yeah. But it is for all teams. There's loads playing on the 26th and then playing again on the 28th.
Yeah.
But it's impossible to plan for where you go, can I leave him there? But if I leave him, say for argument's sake, I leave a Firmino of Wednesday, right? And all of a sudden, 2 of the strikers go down with COVID. And then I have to drop a fairly cold Firmino into Leeds. It's no one's fault that this has happened, but this is the way it goes. For me, I would only play the players if it's absolutely needed on Wednesday.
Maybe need minutes and give them an hour.
Minutes or just need freshening up, likes of Kate, the likes of Firmino. I give Martin another runs, things like that. I think he has to look at it in a block of. For me, he has to look in a block of Leeds, Leicester, Chelsea.
Yeah,
and he needs to see what Leeds aren't in great form, but it's still Leeds, and they can come out and put up a performance at times. You've seen them away at Chelsea; they were quite good. Yeah. But I think he needs to look and go, right, what mix can I get between 26th and 28th? Okay, to get me through those 2 games, and then look to 5 days later when I go away to Chelsea. Because when I get to Chelsea, I really want, I want me Van Dijk back in there. I want me Fabinho back in there. Like he could literally just say to himself, right, I'm going to try get through Leeds, and then I have Van Dijk, I have Fabinho, I have Curtis Jones back for those, that sort of way.
Yeah.
And then I have
Joe Gomez will play.
Yeah, Joe Gomez.
Joe Gomez and probably Nat Phillips. Oh no, Nat's out.
Yeah, no, he's out with a broken jaw or something. But I think he has to kind of look at that. They kind of have to look at it as normal as they can, like a normal festive period. Because what's happening with COVID is completely out of control. So is injuries. You just have to look at it as a normal situation where you go, right, legs. Who has the legs? Who has it in them to do the 26th, a bit of the 28th, and be ready for Chelsea? Because it's a huge 3 games, Kev. Like it's a huge fucking 3 games. I think these next 3 will shape the title race in a massive way.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be chasing more than you have to against City. They're very good front runners with a gap, and if you give them more than 1 slip, they're well capable of taking advantage of it. It's at 3 points, it's okay because we still got to go there, and you can rescue something from that. You can get a win there, and you're back level. But if you're 5 points, 7 points, you can forget it because they're not going to make that many mistakes that we can capitalize on. And that's just the start reality of how good they can be.
I think we're talking about these three games and how big they are, and how it will shape a Premier League, and how it will um put teams in positions. Can Chelsea claw a bit back over these next three? Can City pull away? Can Liverpool overhaul City? Whatever it might be. But we touched on it earlier, the empty stadiums thing. That's the thing that terrifies me, Kev, because I think I don't think it's huge for Chelsea. I don't think it's huge for City, but I think it's absolutely massive for us.
It is, yeah.
I'm not saying we need crowds to win games. That's not what I'm saying. But momentum wise, and when you need to pull something out of those three sides, we have the stadium and we have the support base to go in there and absolutely make a mega difference to any game you come in, whether that's a league game. Obviously wouldn't be against City or Chelsea. We both played them at home, but I'm talking about a league game where City could have dropped points and we need to win this one to go top, or make a gap smaller or something like that, where the crowd are just like 5:30 on Saturday buzzing going into the place, and we blow teams away off the back of it. And then the Champions League will be back at some stage, and how long will the stadiums be empty? Because when they start closing stadiums, how long is a piece of string for when they're going to open? Yeah, it has to be a huge worry, Kev.
It must be, because it's a decision that rightly will be taken out of the league's hands. Because look, that's a government decision that has to be taken at that level. If it's left to the clubs, you'll never see stadiums empty. But if it's a case that the government in their policy decide, look, this is what needs to happen, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to make the most of it. And it's entirely possible because of the situation the UK is in. And you're seeing it across the continent with different jurisdictions in Germany having different rules, but essentially, reduced capacities, be it 50%, 25%, or no fans at all, have been commonplace for the last month or so.
Yeah.
So it's almost a case of the UK seem to be, look, let's get to Christmas. Boxing Day is the big traditional fan day out. It's the biggest revenue earner for the vast majority of the football league clubs that they'll ever have in any one season. Their biggest day is the Boxing Day home game.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll try to hang it out for that, but I can see a decision being made between the 26th and the 2nd of January, where the UK government decide, look, they're reducing capacity or reducing venues in size maybe to half, to see how that goes. They'll test it out, see how their health system is coping up. But I think if the Leicester fans are going to the game on Wednesday night, enjoy it. It could be the last one for a while, unfortunately.
Do you think it could come that early? They literally go, right,
I think on the 27th or I think by the 28th they'll have announced a date if they're going to do it. They'll do it. They'll announce a date.
You think the Boxing Day games get the go ahead?
I think they'll get the go ahead, because the decision would have to be made a day, 24 hours, 48 hours in advance for.
But they could pull this out. They could pull this out tomorrow or Wednesday.
They could, but that gives the people enough time to. It's travel arrangements, They can't tell the whole of the football industry in the UK, right, lads, tomorrow you're shutting your doors, because travel arrangements would have been made the night before, hotels would have been booked.
Mm-hmm.
It would piss enough people off. And at the end of the day, these people who make these decisions are going to have to go to polls at some point and ask to be re-elected.
Mm-hmm.
They know this. They know they're not going to do this unless they absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like they're so late out of the blocks in making decisions that they'll do their best to get the Boxing Day fixtures out of the way. Maybe even the 28th, because you've got every club is home and away over those 2 days.
Yeah, because just says the rumor is the 29th there will be an announcement on new measures regarding
that will
COVID.
Be an announcement for the new year.
For the new year, so all games from the 31st of December at midnight, no one's allowed in stadiums. Chris Brack says, now in this PM, he doesn't want a repeat of last Christmas backlash. He's a coward. He'll announce it on Christmas Eve, restrictions from the 27th onwards, which would allow you to have that game, and then, like, soften the blow. You can go tomorrow, but you can go on the 26th.
I
But
mean,
after that,
football
forget it.
clubs up and down outside of the Premier League and probably the top 3 or 4, half a dozen clubs in the Championship. The rest of these clubs massively depend on gate revenue to tide them over. They can't keep putting the begging ball out for the Premier League to keep bailing them out. And they need these fixtures, especially the 26th and 28th, are vital for their survival. So, I mean, it was only dumb luck and pure ingenuity from the Premier League and the Football League that more clubs didn't go bust during COVID. A lot of money was ploughed into these clubs, and a lot of the clubs have had to change the structures and how they fund themselves. But to have that happen to them again, who knows what would happen next time?
Yeah, it's going to be a strange wait, I think, and I think right up until probably Christmas Eve, and then if you get through Christmas Day and you haven't heard anything, obviously you're going to see the 26th.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me if they'd done something around
Chris has made a
Wednesday.
really good point there. The FA Cup draw for Shrewsbury against Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's massive. That sustains
they
that
get
club
50% of the great.
Yeah. And it sustains them for 18 months.
And they get the TV money because no doubt Liverpool are probably on TV for that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they come up on the 20 on Wednesday. Today is Monday. On Wednesday and turn around and go, right, listen, to give people plenty of notice, from the 26th onwards there's no games, or from the 27th, right? And just turn around and go bang. And then it wouldn't surprise me if they let the 26th go and told people on the 27th that we're shutting down. Whether that be from that day or whether from, say, the 31st of December. They're going to throw a bit of carrot and stick at this where, we let you go to this game, but then after that, we're being fair. We're not taking this next game away from you. But after that, it's all locked down. I just hate this. I just hate to think of it.
I hate it as well. I mean, Shawnee was spot on what he said the other night when he was like, "Please don't make me watch this again."
Well,
none
that's
of us
the thing.
None of us enjoy watching this.
No, and the thing is, I said it when we won the league, we were lucky. We 2 games behind closed doors when we won the league. Now we didn't get to celebrate it in stadiums. Fair enough, right? I get that. And there's thousands and thousands that go to Anfield week and week and week and wanted to be at that Chelsea game when we lift the title and stuff like that. I 100% get that. But last season was just fucking painful, And that's not me saying it because Liverpool just decided to stop playing football. It was because you're watching it going. First of all, I don't want to listen to most of the commentators, right? And then I'm listening to piped in shit. And then so you're literally just sitting in a fucking silent room watching football. You know what I mean? Or it was everywhere, and they had games all day, every day. But that was to try to drum up some sort of, will people stay all day? But they don't really. You'd be amazed how many people love the fact that, I know that game's on a 4:30 on a Sunday, and I know they literally have their weekends around 12:30, 3:00, 5:30 on a Saturday, and 2 and 4:30 on a Sunday. And loads of people walked into
that's enough.
But then it was Monday fucking at 5:00 and 8:00, and it was like every day of the week there was fucking Premier League games on. But I think it's just it's one of those things where, don't get me wrong, you could have Liverpool side to come out and win the next 15 on the trot, and all in front of empty stadiums, but it would take something away from it where you go, there's no one fucking watching this. Do you know what I mean? Bar, you're watching it on telly, but that means fuck all. Let's be honest about it. Liverpool done a good enough job of trying to keep the fans involved during that title winning season, where they were like, we're with you and we're doing this and we're doing it, and they were trying to big it up. But I'd say most players, and I'd say all of them, are going, not this again. It's just soulless fucking stuff. Do you know what I mean? And part of football is, how do crowds affect it? How do they affect players? And it's just
it gives players the extra 5% that sometimes they need in games. And to be fair, the players at Liverpool, Leeds, Man City, and I think there's 1 or 2 other clubs, they're all virtually fully vaccinated. They've done everything humanly possible to protect themselves, because it was telling that these clubs are the ones whose fixtures have all gone ahead. So they've given themselves the best opportunity to get these games played. But unfortunately, now they're being put into a position that they're being punished for it. Because, as we saw with the Tottenham game yesterday, when you're fresh, when it comes to a second half against a side who's been playing 3 or 4 games on the spin, your fresh legs do tell.
Yeah.
So it becomes an unfair advantage when you've had a couple of games off, and you've refreshed to as best you can. And it'll tell in performances, and it just creates an imbalance in the league that will play out across not just Liverpool and Spurs games, but I'm interested to see how Manchester United recover when they start to play their games that they've got backlogged. And Brighton as well, another one who probably could have done with the reset, if you like.
Yeah, but Brighton have been unfortunate because Brighton have had games called off through no fault of their own.
Yeah. So they've been able to at least train constantly. Whether they have COVID issues or not is irrelevant to them because their training ground has remained open as far as I know. So fine, they haven't been playing, but they have managed to refresh, and hopefully for their sake, you'd think that they've addressed some of the issues that they've had in the last few weeks. But for other sides, and I can speak, clearly Leeds are one club that are absolutely riddled with injuries. Almost probably worse than what we had it last year, where even if they're getting a player back, they're rushing them back, and they're picking up knocks on the back of it. So, and they're fighting they're in a relegation fight now. So
the Reclaimer says Man United have been doing double sessions. Well, I've heard all sorts of numbers, like Man United only had 7 players available and stuff like that. I have issues around what's going on there with United and Spurs. I'm not going to. People know that, mainly because of the lack of information, and people would say, "Well, you're being paranoid," but I don't know if I am. I really don't. And like I said, and this is why I said it last night, when Spurs turn up and go, listen, we can't play Rennes and we can't play Brighton at the weekend because of this, they should have just called it. They should have just called it and said to the TV companies, listen, the only way we get out of this is to pull this for 10 days. And we make sure that we get all our ducks in the line so we don't have this going on. You see, if every Premier League player got COVID and you pulled it for 2 weeks, right? It's not a nice thing, but it's a much better outcome than what you're seeing now, because what you're seeing now is just one team after another, and the knock-on effect on Brighton is being huge. And other clubs, who are going to have to find more time somewhere. And this is what Klopp was alluding to yesterday. It's just a strange one. And we've about 10 minutes left, so if you have any questions on football or anything else you want to throw in there, any random stuff, throw it in there, food, whatever you want. And
what are you looking forward to when you roast dinner for Christmas Day?
Yeah.
What's the one thing that if it was missing off your Christmas dinner that you think, shit, it ain't the same? It ain't right.
Stuffing.
But what is it like? Not your Paxo stuffing or anything like that.
No.
It's got to be a proper stuffing.
My mother makes it properly. Like, she makes the stuffing. It's definitely stuffing for me. If I turn up my mother, I'm going to my mother's Christmas Day for me dinner, and if I turn up there and there's no stuffing, I'll just go home. And I'll make no apologies about it. Garmax says Yorkshire puddings. Yorkshire puddings are quality.
Yeah. Aunt Bessie makes the best ones, though. There's no point in trying to replicate what Aunt Bessie does.
There has to be gravy involved with a Yorkshire pudding, though.
Homemade gravy, not Bisto. Dirty stuff.
Let me see. Bejan says, Gav, with bread or biscuits. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, hold on. Turkey, says Bejan. And then he says, Gav, with bread or biscuits. I don't know what that means. Favorite dessert? Christmas. At Christmas.
Don't do dessert, man. I got to put hiking boots on for my missus' dinner. I swear to God.
Do you know what I love at Christmas? I love profiteroles at Christmas. Only at Christmas. Only at Christmas. In the freezer. Yeah. The stuff.
I used to love, when I was a kid, I used to love the Viennettas.
Wait, hold on.
My grandmother used to get the Viennetta.
Does Bejan think here that we make stuffing with biscuits? Nah, surely not. No, it's a sage and
you get a lot of people using bread stuffing. My missus makes sausage meat stuffing.
Yeah, you can make you put the breadcrumbs in whatever you want. Yeah, is Aaron gravy rich okay for Kev?
Nope. Well, tell you what, best of gravy. You get the meat stock. You get a couple of oxos.
Yeah.
You get the vegetable oil, the veg water, and you slowly mix that together. I'll tell you what, man, you won't beat it.
Garmax says, Jesus, Gav, say profiteroles again. Profiteroles. That's what they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it wrong. Stop doing this to me because I hate when I say something and people go, "Oh, I'll say that again," and like,
Yeah. That's John said. Is it John Soulfield? It's
hold on.
not.
But there's loads of biscuit talk here. Where the
Yeah,
fuck are you putting
it's not
biscuits?
Christmas unless you got a tin of USA biscuits.
Oh
Do you remember
Jesus, yeah, Jesus, USA. What? I don't know what the story is with biscuits. Let me see. If you had to have turkey for dessert, what would be your dessert? Oh
Turkey.
Jesus, for dessert?
Yeah. You okay?
No, no way, no way.
No.
No,
I
and
don't
I
have
don't know what.
savory desserts, man.
I don't know what's going on with the biscuits. Why the fuck you have biscuits anywhere near your Christmas dinner is beyond me. But it's definitely like you said, if you're missing something, if I was missing stuff after dinner, I'd just walk out. I genuinely would. I'd just say, listen, man, I'm out of here.
Roast parsnips for me. I love
Yeah.
roast parsnips. I actually love sprouts as well. But
No, I hate sprouts.
I couldn't care less about turkey, and no, we don't do the turkey and ham. It's one or the other. It'd be turkey, and whatever turkey's on the plate is fine. But a good roast potato, loads of veg, and nice stuffing. But the turkey is best in a proper sandwich, and that's on Boxing Day.
Bejan's back. I might need to ring Bejan and have this out with him. Gav, we use biscuits, crackers for you, I guess, and season them to make the stuffing. Wow.
I know people have used dry breadcrumbs for making stuffing, but
yeah, you can use breadcrumbs with onion and whatever you want. Yeah.
Biscuits and crackers. No, I've never come
no,
across that.
I'll have to look there. Cauliflower cheese is a must. Fuck off. That's fucking
no.
disgusting.
That's just
don't ever invite me around to your gaff for Christmas dinner. We are bleeding whipping that out. Not a chance.
Do you know what? Forget the cauliflower cheese. Broccoli cheese is nice. If you do nice and just a standalone vegetarian dish, broccoli cheese is really, really nice. I used to make it when I was working in a restaurant.
No, it's disgusting.
No, it's good for you.
No. Cranberry sauce. No, I'm not having them either. Let me see. Dunk a custard cream in your gravy.
Why?
No, what are you doing that for? What's going on here? No, like my Christmas dinner.
I always thought the chat here was educated and sensible.
No. So on my Christmas dinner, I love turkey and ham, stuffing, gravy. No sprouts. I'll take any other veg, just don't give me sprouts. And then I love roast potatoes, mashed potatoes, and even I love croquettes as well. I'm a big fan of a croquette.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have one on Christmas dinner though. Yeah, I gotta have roast parsnips. I would.
Right. Hold on. Adi says, for fuck's sake, can we talk football? No, we've done all that. We've done loads of football talk. I agree here with this. Where's it gone? Jonathan says, Jesus, there's some food sickos in this chat. There is cauliflower cheese and all. Would you fucking stop it?
My aunt eats custard cream sandwiches.
Oh my God. Who said that?
Mike in the world.
Mike in the world. My aunt eats, you can't put custard creams on a bit of bread. That's fucking horrible. No way. No.
Sweet potato pie.
Hold on. Garmac says croquette. What do you want me? A croquette? Is that what you want me to say? It's a croquette. You know what I'm talking about. Fucking Gar. I tell you something. Elocution lessons. Croquette. God, I miss being home. What an accent. Gar, where are you? I presume he's Irish, but where is he living? I wonder where Gar's living. But it's a croquette. It just simply is that. Like, there's no other word. CROQUETTE. Croquette. So there you go. But yeah, there is some. I've heard of this. Boiling the ham in Coca-Cola and cloves. I wouldn't go cloves. I have heard of Coca-Cola.
Never heard of the Coca-Cola before.
Yeah, Coca-Cola. Yeah, I've heard of that. You just absolutely lamp loads of Coca-Cola into the pot and put the ham in. Where you go.
The acid in the Coke would give it a really weird dark coloring. So
Garmac says I live in Ramilton, County Donegal, from Walkinstown. Gar, I was only talking about Donegal today. because my daughter seen a sign for Derry and said, that's fucking miles away. What's the sign for Derry for? But we're obviously on the road that, you know, the way in Ireland, if you're in Cork, they'll show you a sign for Dublin. It doesn't matter where you are. And I said, that's nice up there. I said, but Donegal is beautiful. The golf course up in Donegal are amazing. And she was like, throwing the eyes at the heaven going, there's nothing that I can say without you mentioning golf courses in different places. But I hope you're well up in Ramilton in County Donegal.
Never been up there.
Pigs and blankets. The next you'd be saying pigs and blankets are wrong. They are. They're fucking horrible. I can't do them.
Streaky bacon and sausage.
No, I can't do them. Just have a sausage roll. But the ham, my mother used to make the ham. Still does, but when we lived in the house, she used to make the ham, and she'd say to me, "I'm just going around to me for Christmas Eve." She'd be going around to our friends, and so I'm going around to such and such for an hour. Will you just make sure the water stays over that ham? You know, as you do.
Yeah.
So they'd be bubbling away, and you go in and go, "Oh no!" There'll always be a kettle of hot water on the go. You know, you pour it in. But we used to devour the ham. You know, and you put the fork into, and you just take a little bit off, and you go, "That's bleeding lovely. That's lovely." And I go, "Oh, go on, have another little bit." And me and the brother, and she'd take the ham out. You know, she'd leave it there, and then that night she might take it out, and she'd take it out, and she'd go, "You did just hear the raw." You know, there'd be a big fucking bick on off the side of it. It'd be like a bit of a mountain. You know, you ever see in the Arctic where the big bit of fucking
big bit of the
ice
snow
falls off.
Yeah.
Falls off. Like it's like that. The ham looks like that. There's a big edge gone off it. You know. Garmac says, "Do you want to come and play golf, Gav? We do packs in the place I work. I'll sort you out." Yeah, email us at lfcdaytrippers@gmail.com. I'm up for all golf. I'm already I've already 2 booked in for next year. With viewers of this show to go and play with them, believe it or not. And we're definitely looking at doing a Daytrippers golf day as well next year.
Mike, what is wrong with you?
Red Steve, gone right off, Gab, for the pigs and blanket show. As if you're ever right on, for fuck's sake. Would you give over? Tuna and banana pizza. Oh, no, hold on. Mike's seen this online. This was online the other day.
What's the story there?
It was a post online last week sometime. I seen it, and it said it was tuna and banana pizza. It was horrendous looking.
I mean, cheese and pineapple is bad enough. You know,
no, a pineapple shouldn't be on a pizza.
Shouldn't be on anywhere near a pizza, but tuna, anything fish related should never be on a pizza. And no fruit or vegetable. No, definitely no bananas.
Tuna and banana pizza. I see.
Bananas.
Garmac says some beautiful courses up here in Donegal. There absolutely is. Trust me, email us and tell us where it is, and we'll try to get up next year and play. Chris Brack says Red Steve was always right on Gav. You don't fucking start. He's been quiet for the last couple of days, and that's the way I like it. Downtown Abbey says I'm vegetarian, so my Christmas dinner will disappoint everyone. You're dead right. It'll definitely disappoint me. I've no problem with you being vegetarian, but it wouldn't be me. David Glennon says tuna is peasant food. Well, I don't know if it's peasant food. It's
granted a jacket potato.
Just not
that's about it.
Pizza. Serious question from Garmac. What about a live podcast some night when the world returns to normal? Yeah, that's definitely in the plans as well. But we don't know. You can't plan anything. We have a guy that can plan something for us like that, like literally like that, and go there's a venue, there's this, there's that, there's sound, there's whatever we need. And talking to him about a month ago, and he went, "Listen, there's no point in planning anything because you could literally be planning right till the last day, and then you turn around and go, you have to be closed by 9, or you can only let fucking 50 people in the place. So there's no point until everything clears up. But we'll definitely do something when it all clears up.
This will all pass.
And when it passes, like we be throwing Kev on a bus in Cork and send them up to Dublin.
Every March, April, we'll be back to somewhere near some kind of a normal.
Exactly.
You know, we're just going to get through these cold couple of months when people are all stuck indoors all the time. Get through these couple of months and we'll be grand.
Yeah. No, when this all happens, we'll try to get Kev up to Dublin, and we'll try to get Chris over from England, and there's other lads in the pod that aren't based in Dublin. They go in. Garmax's previous points with the Redmen. Previous points with Redmen and Tom Dublin were brilliant crack. Yeah, the tall lads we've been out with go a few times. They're good to laugh. We need a quiz, says Martin. You might get one if the football stops, but hopefully we don't. Klopp the Mystic says tuna rocks, but only with jacket potato, cheese, and beans. Yeah. Chef's brown sauce. Oh, this is a huge question.
That is a massive debate.
Massive. There's a very simple answer to it, but it's a massive question. Chef's brown sauce versus HP brown sauce. Can I throw a third option in there?
Go on.
YR brown sauce.
Daddy's brown sauce is the best one for me that I've had.
Okay.
Absolutely lovely. Love
Chris
it.
reckons he'll do the questions for the quiz. He will in his bollocks. Chef is too sweet. HP, I can't ever remember the last time I've had HP, but YR brown sauce for me is deadly. Garmac likes Daddy's as well. David Glennon just hates brown sauce.
I wouldn't be a massive fan, but on a breakfast roll, it's good. Get a decent breakfast roll in the garage or something.
Paul says, I think you lads would be surprised with how many people turn up, make it a big venue. Nobody would turn up. We'd probably get about 50 and we'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely do something. We'll definitely 100% do something and let you people in here know about it first before we let anybody else know. Brown sauce is vile, says Chris Brack. He's only saying that to impress Red Steve, I'd say. YR brown sauce is awful, says our Alison. No, YR is the nicest for me. Salad cream. Anyone a bit of salad cream? Not for me.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I fucking despise?
Salad cream with Scotch eggs is lovely.
Do you know what I despise? Egg mayonnaise.
No, I love it.
Despise it.
I fucking love it. As long as there's chopped raw onion in it as well.
I had when I in a former life when I drove for a living, and I used to have this young lad that was a helper on a van with me, and I used to pick him up in his house every day. You know, he used to work through the night. I did, and he came out one day, and I remember getting him in the van. You know, now he was a fucker for not bringing anything with him. I used to bring a bit of lunch with me, but we might stop off and get a bag of chips or something. You know, it was a long fucking night walking. But he was a fucker for not bringing anything with him. And you come out of the house and you go up the road, can you just stop in the shop here? And you go in and stock up on a load of stuff for himself. And then later on, can we go here? Can we go there? But I remember him getting in the van one day, and get in the van, bag in a plastic bag, tin foil, you know. So you get just a few sandwiches. He says, yeah. He says, I'm actually gonna have one now. I'm starving. And I'm pulling out of the driveway. And he opens this thing up, and I went, is that egg mayonnaise? And he goes, yeah. I said, get out of the van. And he says, what? I said, out of the fucking van now. Get out. I said, you have two choices. Fuck them out the window and go without, or get out with them, because they're not staying in this van. I can't. He got rid of them. He went back into the house and gave them back to his ma. There you go.
Surprised you didn't get chased out on the road.
It's my van. You're not fucking getting in it. Simple as that. Red sauce on chips, curry and rice. No. I know a fella that used to buy a 3-in-1 and put loads of vinegar in it. Vinegar and red sauce. And I don't talk to him anymore. There you go.
Have some standards in life, like.
Red Steve, was this when you went out robbing catalytic converters of a night? They're not catalytic converters, by the way. They're not. It's not a religious thing. But no, catalytic converters aren't. They aren't robbed overnight. They're robbed early morning. Andy Young will tell you this.
They gotta be cold.
Okay, last question, right? And Garmac, who's going to send me an email about golf, he says, this is the last one, and think about it. This could open a can of worms. What makes the ultimate burger? So I'm going to give you 2 buns, and I want you to put in between that what you would like on it. Kev, go.
Okay. Decent meat, not cheap, nasty shit. It has to be decent meat, raw onion.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, bacon,
Uh-huh.
and decent cheese. Wouldn't want too much. A bit of salad as well on the side, but wouldn't want too much. I hate burgers that you got to climb to get into it. You got to be able to pick it up and eat it. I mean, I know I look like I tuck into them that often, but you don't want too much in there. But a decent quality meat, not cheap, shitty crap that you get out the freezer.
Okay. I'll have the bun. Then I'll have, I'll definitely have some red sauce and mayonnaise mixed together, 100%.
Yeah, burger sauce.
Right? Yeah, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Burger, slice of cheese, another burger, another slice of cheese, jalapenos.
Nice.
And if you can get me some crunchy iceberg lettuce in there somewhere, I'll take that as well. Thanks.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
Less is more. Red onion, iceberg lettuce, cheese, bacon, and a spicy chipotle sauce. Says Jonathan. Nice. I like chipotle sauce. It burns, takes the mouth off, you know. It's. I actually went down the shop a little while ago, and I was getting a hot chicken fillet roll like you do in Ireland, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what a woman thought she had, but I wasn't even paying attention. I had the uncle with me, and she gave me the roll, and I went home, and usual, we come in the house, we come in the door. He always looks for a bowl of cereal, sitting in his chair, bowl of cereal, kettle on, open up the roll, opened it up, took a big bite of this thing, and the fucking burnt the mouth on me. She had to put this chipotle fucking stuff on it. And you know when you're not expecting something? And I just hit me mouth, and I jumped, and the uncle was like, what the fuck is going on here? But watch that gear. That gear is lethal. R. Allison says, bagel buns, iceberg lettuce, burger meat, ketchup, meat sauce from frying it. Oh, that's my burger. An old onion ring goes a long way in a burger, says Paul. Yeah, a lot of people like that. Are you partial to a hash brown on a burger?
I wouldn't have one on a burger.
Oh, they're amazing.
No, it's too much. I like them. Don't get me wrong, but not in a burger. It's too much. Too much starch.
Yeah, you know the way I love spice burgers.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very Irish thing. So you got to explain it to.
I can't explain spice. Type into Google Walsh's spice burgers, and then you'll know what it is, right? I love spice burgers. I'm going to do a barbecue, which is probably twice during the summer, right? Once because I don't want to make dinner. I'm come on, we have a barbecue, and another time when I just want to have loads of people around, right? But I love making the burgers and putting a half of a spice burger on with the burger.
That'd be nice.
Oh, it's quality. Any Sienna news says Gar flying. Absolutely flying she is. If you look up her Instagram, Sienna Steps, I think they put a video up 4 or 5 days ago, and she's standing on her own, and she's has a private physio booked for the new year because it's impossible to get before Christmas. So she's absolutely flying, and if we get any updates on that, we'll absolutely let you know. Kev, I think we've done all right.
Yeah,
we're about an hour and 5 in or so. People are just, I'd say they're absolutely starving now. Absolutely starving after all that. Gherkins in a burger, says Klopp. Not a huge fan.
I don't mind them.
Not a huge fan, but I wouldn't say no.
Wouldn't horse them out like if they were in
there. Yeah, they're in there. You know what I mean? I'm all right. But that has been the forum. Tomorrow is the midweek fix. Have to sort of line up for that. Probably just ask Kev. Come on again with me. But we're trying to do our best this week. We really are. Midweek fix tomorrow. Are we doing the post match on Leicester?
If we get a game, we'll come on and why not?
Yeah. There's a game on Wednesday. Me and Kev will do Wednesday, and then Thursday Kev's back with Chris because they said they're doing something. And then listen, we're off.
Thursday is mainly going to be Q&A.
Yeah,
right? So it's going to be totally dependent on you guys in the chat.
Yeah,
because we haven't got a clue what fixtures are going to be going on the 26th or not. So we're just going to wing it and but it's all going to be dependent on you guys in the chat, and we'll chat about whatever you guys want to talk about, basically.
Exactly. We're off Friday. We're off Saturday. We're back Sunday for post match against Leeds, and we should do a fat back 4 as well that night. But listen, we're doing our best between now and the 4th of January. Let me see. Great news on Sienna. Someone says, yeah, it absolutely is. Fair play, lads. Great fun as always. Listen, we're doing as much football talk as we can, and we love the random stuff. So we're allowed to do a Christmas week. Come on, if there's any week we're allowed to do it, it's definitely going to be Christmas week. You wing it, Keith will sing it. There you go. That's a great tagline from Red Steve. In fairness to him. That has been the forum. That has been Kev. That has been Gav. Thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. And just like, subscribe. You know the usual. Sick fucking saying it now at this stage. We just not say it anymore. Kev. We just not say it anymore.
No need.
We just stop asking people to like and subscribe.
We'll see how we get on to the new year. And look, people who are here know we're here.
Can we make a New Year's resolution where we just stop asking people to do that? If they want to like, or they want to subscribe, or they want to share, or they want to leave a review, they can do that. If they don't, they don't. There's nothing we can do about it.
Fair enough. They're smart enough. They know what's right and what's decent.
And what's not decent.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're just calling them it was not decent if they don't do all that.
Yeah,
Perfect, I like it. Right, we'll take a walk off ourselves, which is deadly. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's been it. Talk to you in a bit. Over now.